All right, hello everyone. Welcome to the Stay Afraid podcast. This is episode 5, and we'll be talking about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022. And I wanted to say something right away first because I actually don't really care for the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Really?
Yeah, I have never been a fan of the original movie.
I guess if you're a fan of slasher movies, that kind of makes sense because it
Yeah.
is it is different.
Mm-hmm.
Um I am definitely a fan of the original Texas Chainsaw
I
Massacre
definitely
though.
respect it, and I understand why people love it. I just was never one of those people, I guess.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. I've probably seen the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre maybe 2 or 3 times where
Mm-hmm.
God, I've seen all of the Friday the 13th movies. I watch those every year,
Yeah,
right? Where I'm
yeah.
like, all right, doing it again. Same with the Scream movies. I've
Oh yeah.
seen it so many times.
Oh yeah.
Um, so yeah, definitely not the number one franchise of movies,
Mm-hmm.
but
Well, it's weird too because there's it's kind of like Halloween. There's like 5 different timelines.
exactly. And I don't, I don't know if they couldn't get the actress to do it who played the original Sally,
Oh yeah,
but I don't know if you.
I looked that up. She died.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Okay, so I guess that makes
because
sense.
I thought it was her, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Like she's finally gonna get paid for this movie. And then I looked it up, and yeah, she passed away
Okay.
unfortunately.
Because they did a Texas Chainsaw sequel, and it was the Texas fucking 3D one,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and they had the actress
Yep, she was
return
in
for
that
that
one.
one.
Yes, yeah. I
Right.
actually enjoyed a few, like some of the remakes. I can't even name them all because they're all called the same thing. But the 20, what year did they come out? I think I like all the remakes, honestly. The only ones I haven't seen are 2, 3, and 4.
Okay.
But
Pretty much same.
yeah, I've seen the original, and then I've seen like Leatherface and all like the newer ones.
I just remember how cringy the Texas 3D one. That one stuck in my memory because she's about to get chainsawed, and she has the mark of the family on her, the main character, the
Oh, that's
I don't know her
horrible.
name in there. Yeah, and so he stops because he sees it and he's like, this is family. I don't know. The remakes and all the sequel attempts that they've tried to do for this movie have been so bad. And
Yeah, not great, not great. This one was I never had any expectations, good expectations for it. Because I heard when it was in production, like the first test showings before Netflix even had it, were not good. No one liked it, and so I wasn't expecting much.
didn't they switch directors right
Like
before they started
halfway
filming or
through or
something?
something, it was like
Okay,
mid production of the movie, so it was like kind of doomed from the start. I feel like.
for sure.
But
Uh,
with that being said, I feel like they did a decent job for giving like that director did for what he had.
I agree, and I think the two main girls, the two main sisters, are actually decent actresses. Um,
Yeah, I had some
but
problems with the acting in this movie, but
oh, definitely. But I think it's a bigger issue of the writing, right? They
oh, for
tried,
sure,
man.
they
They
did try.
tried to do what they could.
Hmm.
Um, and I think what was super annoying was the fact that obviously movies can have messages, or they can totally not try to do any of that, and they just go full blown no, this is just a
Yeah,
serial killer. In the way that this movie was all of a sudden oh yeah, this girl was in a school shooting, that came out of
it
nowhere.
literally did come out of nowhere too. I thought it was interesting because you don't see that much in movies, and it is such a super common thing in real life that like I feel like we will start to see it more in movies. But it was kind of also like, did we need that?
It felt so
Like
ham
forced.
fisted in,
Yeah.
yes, because what was it? HBO just had a movie come out called The Fallout,
Okay.
and the whole point of that movie is like what happens after a school shooting.
Okay.
And that movie was done super well. Like I
That
really
sounds
liked it.
interesting.
Yeah, definitely well worth a watch.
All right. All
And
right.
Jenna Ortega is in it,
Oh,
and like
I like her. Yeah.
same, and she like wasn't in anything, dude. And then all of
And
a
then
sudden
all
she's
of a
in.
sudden, yeah.
Yes,
I
she's
did
in.
hear about that now that I'm thinking about it because they came out. Scream came out around the same time, right?
Yes, and
Okay.
she's in Scream. I think she's in Studio 666. She's in the
Yeah, I
new
did see that.
A24 movie, and she's in the Fallout.
Yeah,
So like,
she's great too. So that's exciting that she's getting in some movies.
I agree.
All right, so there's a
Uh,
few ways we could go about this. We could go through the whole movie, roughly scene by scene. I took notes during the entire thing, or we could just go for it and talk about whatever.
I think we should go scene by scene.
Okay. Okay.
If you want to start, I guess, with like a general, like how we feel about the movie, or if you, I don't know if you want to give like ratings or how you want to go about it. Like, do you watch other reviewers at all for like movies?
Yeah, I really like Dead Meat is one of my favorite YouTube channels to watch. That's honestly really it though. But I haven't
Okay.
seen anything on this movie yet.
Oh God, no! I don't think anyone was willing to waste
No,
an
yeah.
hour and a half to watch
I
it.
actually started watching it again before we started recording just to like get a little refresh and it was I okay. Well, we can just I mean the on IMDb it currently has a 5 out of 10 with 23,000 ratings, which is not that many ratings yet and it's just gone down as time has gone on.
Oh, for sure.
And I think I mean, I'm just going to I gave it like a 4, I think.
That's probably about what I would give it as well.
I think you could say it was worse or better for certain reasons. A lot of people on Twitter like this movie, and I don't get it. But
I think if you have to give this movie like positives, if you're like really into like gore porn, then sure, like
yeah,
there were some
this movie
enjoyable
was
parts.
actually really good with the kills. Honestly, the
I
kills looked
agree.
good.
The one I like specifically remember is like the hick dude who they're like, yeah, like this is the country boy, and they had him like listening to like metal music, which
Doesn't
I
make
feel like
sense.
there was yeah, like it was such a disconnect to where like he's like this is what country people do.
Yeah,
Um,
the song that he was rolling, I don't know what it was. It was I kind of liked it though. When he was rolling up into
same.
the gas station, I was like, okay.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know, he doesn't seem like that unlikable. Like it was very weird.
Yeah.
So I could not tell what they were trying to do. And for a minute, I was like, why is he even in this movie? Like in the beginning when it
Yeah, you know
introduced
what's
him.
funny is my entire first watch through. I didn't realize this until about 15 minutes ago, that he was at the gas station and then it was the same guy that was the contractor, and I totally didn't know that the first time I watched the movie, which is pretty dumb of me, but I just didn't
But
care
like,
enough, I guess.
that's totally fair. I don't blame you. And they never do anything with like the gas station owner, right? Like, or like the
No,
guy that's working.
that's what. Yeah, we can just start there because, well, I guess not. I mean, kinda, because the movie starts off with like some tape playing of the first movie, basically just like a refresh of like what happened.
Right.
And
Yes.
then we find out that what's her name, Sally, right, from the first movie.
Yep. Sally Hardesty.
Everyone kind of knew she was going to be in it from the trailer, and I was like, all right, cool, we're doing Halloween 2018, which is whatever. And then like yeah, so we're at the gas station, and then like we find out that Sally became a ranger in Texas and went searching for Leatherface for a very long time. And I thought that was kind of odd.
Right. Because like you just said, it seemed like they wanted to do what Halloween 2018 did,
Yeah.
but you do not have like this like antagonist and protagonist thing at all. Like
I
people know Michael Myers,
Yeah.
and like, yup, he's going after Jamie Lee Curtis. Like that's like the point that
Yeah.
was never what Texas Chainsaw
No,
Massacre
and
was.
I honestly, half the time when I was typing these notes up, I was calling her Sarah because I couldn't even remember her name. and she just wasn't very. I don't know. I just don't understand why she would go searching for Leatherface. Like, I get it. Her friends died. It just didn't make sense to me. This whole, like, plot or whatever.
Same.
Okay. I'm
And
glad we
then,
agree.
yeah, and I'm kind of jumping forward like a little bit because what it does eventually like show her, and she's at like a fucking butcher shop. And like, listen,
Yeah.
dude, if someone had murdered all my friends and he was like a former butcher, he was like hanging people literally on meat hooks, I would be a fucking vegan,
I
bro.
did not
Like,
think about that. That's so funny.
like there's no way in hell I would be like, yeah, let's carve up all these animals. Exactly how all of my friends were murdered.
Oh, that's
Like,
hilarious. Maybe, like, I don't know. I mean, I assume that it just made her crazy. Like, whatever. It doesn't make much sense to me, but it's fine.
no.
It's fine. Um, the first thing I noticed is I didn't really care about any of the characters from the first gas station scene, and like they all kind of seemed pretty unlikable, except for the what's her name? I don't know. I'm so bad with names.
Same. Are you gonna say the girlfriend though? The one that like?
No, I was. She was
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
But the girl who was involved in the school shooting. What is her name? I don't know her name in this movie. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Oh man.
I called her
I
the
don't.
sister the whole movie. Is what in my notes. I just typed the sister, so I guess we can just call her that. I don't know her name.
I don't know her name either because I know the one that isn't in the school shooting. Her name was Melody.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure.
Yes,
So
that's
yeah, I remember her name.
And I called her curly hair girl the whole time. But anyway, I kind of liked the sister girl because I don't know, she just seemed slightly likable, I guess, and sad, and yeah. But and then this gas station scene was kind of like weird because you're right. We were talking about how the guy rolls up in his truck, but also why were these people at the gas station? Because they had like a Tesla, right?
I, what type of car was it? Was it actually a Tesla or was it just like?
Maybe not a Tesla. It was. I don't think they needed gas either way. But I mean, maybe they were just getting other stuff, or the guy was looking for Wi-Fi because he thought he was lost, I guess. So that was kind of weird. But then I just the whole scene with like the interaction with like the girl being like, "Oh yeah, why do you need a gun?" and you got a tiny penis, and it was
That's
just
what I.
why.
That's what I mean by it being like, let's have themes. Like, let's discuss the
It
differences of
was a
city
super
people.
political movie, and I didn't understand it.
Right? And I totally fine with like really political movies,
Mm-hmm.
but
Why
this
one?
was just so unnecessary and it was not done well either. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
And that like
I
we literally gained nothing from that gas station scene. I feel like we didn't learn anything except maybe we learned no, we don't even learn it yet, but like we find out that it's like how many people? It's the two like influencers or whatever, the guy's girlfriend, the sister. So is it four of them?
yes, because it's the main chef and the Melody like works with him, and then it's his girlfriend and then it's her sister. So there's the four people in the
Okay.
beginning.
So they're going to a town in Texas to like live there and bid off these other houses for their
I didn't.
fans.
I have no idea what that was supposed to be
I
either.
have
I was
no idea.
yup. Again, I feel like they were just like city people bad gentrification question mark. Like they were like, I don't know.
Yeah,
Let,
it was whatever. But then they on their way to this town because they finally are leaving the gas station. They get pulled over by the sheriff, and I was kind of like, because like the sheriff is usually just Leatherface's dad or whatever, right? Isn't it?
I don't remember.
It's in one of them at least, so I guess that's what I was expecting. But then the sheriff was actually kind of a good guy, it turns out. But I mean, I guess he was a little weird.
Again, it just felt like another pointless scene
Yeah,
to
yeah.
like be like, let's pull over the car. So what? And again, these people are like apparently so famous
Yeah.
that like
and they're
people are,
cooks.
yeah, that these cops are like, oh man, we got to prepare for this one single car that will be driving
Yeah,
into
and they
town
made it
soon.
seem like
Like
they're gonna have a bunch of fans come, but there was like a bus full. So like, I mean, it was a good amount, but like, it wasn't that bad. Like,
then, like, did they literally do that just to have the bus scene? You know, like
100%, yeah, 100%. And then okay, and then next we finally get to the town, I guess, and I just don't understand. And this is the point where I said this movie does not have a good premise or a plot so far, and that doesn't get better.
no, and like, dude, it didn't need to have like a good plot anyway. Like, if it would have just not tried,
If
right?
it
If it
would have
was like
not
that,
tried, you're right. You're right. We
I would have
didn't.
been fine with it.
We didn't
But
need this. Yeah, it doesn't feel like a
yeah,
Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, and that's what I wanted to ask because you said you do like the original, and I was as someone who doesn't really care about it, I was furious with this movie. Like I can't imagine Texas Chainsaw Massacre fans enjoying this
no,
and being excited for more. But whatever.
not at all. The only thing that even makes it like, oh, this is Texas Chainsaw is, um, I think it's like the original house, right? They definitely did like a replica of like,
Yeah, it
so that's
was
cool.
it was
Um,
weird. I didn't understand like this town felt so like they're on a set. Like it didn't feel real at all.
l- literally,
So
it was
bad.
very weird.
But yeah, they get to this little town. I guess I can call it a town. It's like 7 buildings maybe. I don't know. And then they see they're there and they're like figuring everything out and they like see that the guy at the gas station's there and that was the contractor and he's like got everything ready for you guys and called them and that said that they're in a cult and stuff. So that was cool. That was kind of creepy. This guy was being
Right.
weird. And then I'm just trying to see. And then they see the Confederate flag, right?
Yes.
And they're like, "Nah, we can't be having that here," which, fair enough.
Yep. So then they just go into this orphanage. It
Yeah.
says on the front
Which
that they.
they did think that they owned it, which is fair, so they go in there. And then you can see I think it's you can see Leatherface upstairs before any like while she's looking around or something, right? Or was that just
Yep.
me?
No.
Okay.
Yes. And then so then they like talk to the mom of the
Yeah,
orphanage
she just
who
walks out of nowhere.
literally, and she's like, "No, we live here."
Yeah. And it was just weird. They just walked into this lady's house and the lady didn't she didn't care really. She was just like, "What are you doing here?"
Yeah. Like what she goes, "You're the new neighbors, aren't you?"
Like, "Why are you
Um.
in my house, bro?"
Yeah. And then so I feel like they're not like freaking out enough at this point to be like, "Oh my god, we just walked into
Yeah.
some like stranger's house."
They're just like,
And then
"Hey,
like,
you got to leave."
yeah, and then the guy's like, "I'm gonna go get the cops," and just leaves the
Well,
girl in the house
yeah,
alone.
that was odd, but it's because the lady like called him like a bad word. And he didn't like that and then he's like, "Yeah, all right, I'm getting the sheriff." And I was like, "The sheriff ain't gonna do nothing." But to my surprise, the sheriff like starts grabbing her and like is like, "You got to get out of here."
Right? And then that kills her. Like,
Yeah,
oh
what the
my, literally, the movie went from like boring to just like it lost me right there. So what? It was like
Yeah.
15 minutes into the
Why did
movie, and
she
I was
just
like,
start puking or something? And then she was like just like dying. And the lady's like the girl was like, "Call an ambulance." And the sheriff was like, "We are the ambulance."
literally though.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I was wondering, like, are there really towns in Texas where like there's like a one police officer? Like, is this a real thing?
dude, like probably, but the part that I refuse to believe is the fact that like they were literally walking on a movie set. Like, no way, no way. Is there
Yeah.
like in the middle of the desert, just an abandoned like movie theater,
That's what I'm
barbershop,
saying.
like
Like, it was like a weird. It just looked like a movie set, and which obviously it was, but they did not do a very good job
th-
disguising that.
that literally would have would have been a better plot. Like if they would have gone somewhere and they're like, this is a movie set, and then they actually started to get like
It
real
would
life
have
murdered
been. It
or
would have
some
been
shit.
better. But then Leatherface comes downstairs and is like, "Oh shit, my mom's dying," and he looks pretty big. He looks like a big guy in this.
Right, and if this is supposed to be a direct sequel, he would be like 75
I
years
was
old or
thinking about
something.
that too because
Yep.
he had to be at least like 20 in the first movie. Let's just say that.
And that's like literally giving them
Yeah,
such a huge
yeah,
because like no.
yeah. So that was kind of odd. Like he definitely is not that old in this. I didn't even think about that until now. But yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Um, and then basically the lady keeps dying, and then the girlfriend's like, "Let me go with her." Or no, it wasn't the girlfriend. It was the girl, and she was like, "Let me go with her." And then the guy's girlfriend was like, you "No, let me go." And I was like, "Why do you feel the need to go with her?"
Literally. And then the cops are just like, yeah, yep,
Okay.
come with us.
And I was like, "All right, yeah, you deserve to die, but it's fine." And then so all right, what happened after that though? What happened after they get in
So
the ambulance or like the cop car, whatever this thing
right.
is, and they
They
just
get in the
start
cop car
driving.
and she dies. Like that's when the mom actually dies.
Yeah, and then the girlfriend's like texting the people, and she's like, "Yo, she just died." And then
And mind
leather.
you,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't think they ever go back to that. Now, if I like had a girlfriend getting some weird ass fucking cop car who I'm like in the middle of doing stuff and I'm like, yeah, just so I'm not gonna be able to come get you or anything. Good luck. And she texts me one single time the whole time, and it's, hey, she died, and I don't hear from her the rest of the day. Like, I'm gonna be freaking the fuck
That guy
out,
didn't give a
dude.
fuck about his
Literally,
girlfriend.
literally was never even like, she never sent another text after this.
I didn't think about that either. But yeah, she's like, "Yo, she died." And then the cop in the back seat, because there's two of them, the sheriff and then the other guy, his partner or something. And the guy in the back seat was like touching the dead lady or something.
He, um, Leatherface was freaking out because his mom died, and so the cop like grabs Leatherface's hand
Yeah,
and
yeah.
is like, "Hey, just relax, man."
And the Leatherface is like, "Nah," and just breaks his arm
Fucking
off.
snaps his hand off. I was like, "Oh my god!"
And then the cop grabs his gun, and then I have it on. I'm just going through the scenes, and and he just snaps his arm off, bro. How does that? Okay, it's fine. It's Leatherface. He's like 70 and he's snapping cops' arms off. It's
Literally,
fine. And so the premise is like Leatherface was chilling, wasn't killing, and then his mom or this lady died, and now he's just mad. He's like, all right. And then they crash after the sheriff gets hit or something. Oh, the sheriff got shot in the neck because
right
of
when the other
them
cop
fighting.
tries to grab his gun. Oh my!
What the fuck? Okay, okay. And then the car crashed. And then I think we cut back to after the crash we cut right back to
And that's when we learn that the sister has been in a school shooting. That's
yeah,
what it cuts to.
because she picks up this hillbilly guy's gun and is
Right.
like, "Is it loaded?" And then just like starts like pulling the triggers and stuff, right? Like she's like playing with it.
Yeah, and so he like takes it, unloads it.
Yeah, and that was kind of odd. And then after that, we get the scene where I think what's his name? Is his name? I don't want to get this wrong. The boyfriend guy, the chef, is his name Dante? Yes, Dante. Him and his chef partner they find out that the lady died, and they're like, she's like sad, and then Dante's like, "Nah, it's all good. It wasn't our fault."
Right.
And which was like, I mean, I guess like I agree, like I guess you can't worry about that, but the fact that we find out later that they didn't actually have the house was kind of like, oh,
kind of fucking scummy. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
oh Jesus, okay. Um, but yes, when it cuts back to her like messing with the gun, and he's just talking about the gun, and she goes, "I've been shot at." Again, I was like, no,
And
no, they're
he's like, was it your drunk dad?
like literally, and she just says like the high school name, like,
Yeah.
no,
It was like okay, that's whatever. I was hoping they would do more with it, but they didn't really. It's fine, I guess. You know, they
no.
tried.
It was just very strange. It was
It
literally a
just didn't
plot
make
device
sense. It
for the
was
very end for her to be like, get up, like, oh my
yeah, it was pretty
god.
stupid. It was pretty stupid. But then her oh, dude, I wish I knew names. Melody comes in and walks in on her sister leaving the guy's like bathroom and she was like, "Yo, what were you guys doing in there?"
Right. So again, like this movie's trying to be like, ooh, what if they did have sex? Like again, and it just okay, like
Okay, like so what?
right.
Yeah, the whole time between the car crash and then the next scene with Leatherface was kind of like useless and boring.
It
But
is incredible that this was like an 84-minute movie, and yes, I think they could have still cut like 15 minutes from it.
yeah, probably yeah, a solid 15 at least, I would say. But then
But
we go back to the sunflower field or whatever.
and in my opinion, this is the best scene in the movie. Like,
I agree. It was done very well. I think
yes,
I think this girl was a little stupid. Let me check her name too. Was it? Oh man, I don't know. Ruth, is that right?
I literally have no idea.
We're
I was
gonna
just
call
saying,
her Ruth.
like these characters were so irrelevant.
Well, she's not gonna be alive much longer, so we can just call her whatever. But she's in the car, and I feel like she was kind of being stupid, right? Like clearly this guy is nuts, and he's gonna probably kill you. And she's not like, I mean, she's kind of being quiet, but like, not really. I.
I agree, but like, yeah, what? I don't know what I would do if I'm sitting
That's
in a
true.
car watching a man rip off his mother's
That's
face
another thing
in
I
the
wanted to
mirror.
talk about is why did he cut off his mom's face and wear it?
Well, I guess he wants to like be his mom, right? That's like I, because the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, technically, he was like, oh, like it was based off Ed Gein, and Ed Gein
Yeah.
was like obsessed with his mom.
Okay, I didn't know that.
So,
I guess that makes sense, but I was
right,
very confused. I was like, "Yo, why are you putting your mom's face on?"
right, because I feel like that's a huge leap for even me to make. But like, the actual like real serial killer, he had like, dude, he had like a belt made of like human nipples, and like he was
Yeah,
obsessed with like
yeah.
the female body, and so maybe they were like, let's do that. But if if I didn't know that fucked up shit about the real serial killer, I would be like, wait, didn't he like his mom? Why is he cutting her fucking face
Yeah,
off,
yeah.
dude?
I don't understand the whole cutting face. I mean, I understand cutting faces off, but not your mom's face. You know, it was just odd. I didn't enjoy that. But so Leatherface is officially back. He now is wearing someone else's face, and the girlfriend lady is like trying to like figure out how to get out of this car without like being loud, and she like says something on the radio.
She was like trying to radio to other police officers. Like she was like,
Yeah.
"Help!"
But then the oh, so we do see the gas station guy again. I forget because he hears her say something about him wearing a face.
That is true. And so, like, he's the one that contacts Sally. I'm pretty sure,
Yes, yes, that is right.
and that's yes.
Which okay, that's whatever. And then doesn't she try to like get out of the car or something now? And then like the deputy or sheriff wakes up.
So he wakes up, and then Leatherface comes to the driver's side window and kills him, and walks away one more time. And she doesn't want to open the door. She thinks that's too loud because we don't see like where Leatherface goes. He
Mhm.
disappears somewhere into the field. And so instead of just opening the door and sprinting, which I would imagine at that point that's like my only hope. Like I'm fucking
Yeah, because she
taking
didn't
off.
seem super injured.
Right. She
Like,
tries to climb through the driver's
yeah,
side
I didn't get
window.
that. Which, I mean, maybe she had some information the movie didn't show us, but at the same time, that's not how movies usually work. But, and then how does Leatherface like attack her? Like, does he like just come up behind her?
Yeah, so and then it like shows her like halfway through the driver's side window, and then all of a sudden she's like looking for him,
Oh, and then
and
he
he
stabs
shows
her.
up in the passenger window and he stabs her with like a piece of glass right in the stomach.
Yeah, it took a. It was like a. I feel like it took him a long time, but he was just kind of playing with her, I think. Which kind of like, I was expecting her to get out of there actually.
Well, yeah, because like no one ever even learns that she's dead.
That's
Like none of
actually
the other
true.
characters see her and go, "Oh shit, like it's going down."
Yeah, it took them a while to like. Yeah, they don't even realize like she's gone for a long time. I would have to imagine.
Oh, for sure, because even in the movie she dies and then it cuts back to them like arguing, the like hick guy and
Hmm.
Dante arguing,
Yep.
and he takes everyone's keys.
Yeah. That's another thing is like what? Because this lady had to go to the hospital, you're taking their keys. I just don't get that. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Right, so for the next like I don't know 15 minutes we go from them at the bus to we learn that Sally now butchers animals for fun.
Hmm. Which is like, okay, good for you. And then they also find out that they don't have like that, they don't own that house, or they don't find that out, but they don't have like this paper with them.
Well, so but like she learns, yeah, Melody goes in and sees that the property, like
Is
the
yeah.
title is still there.
Yeah, that's when they go back into this lady's house, and then she finds out, and then we hear some noises, and then Leatherface is in this house. I'm wondering how far away that crash was to this
L-
town,
Literally for him to just walk all the way back to the house.
because either it was not very far at all, or this guy's a really bad boyfriend and didn't care that his girlfriend had not texted back in a very long time. It was just this movie's just full of like, really, this wouldn't happen. How is this happening? Okay, so yeah, so then this guy Dante like is walking around the house looking for the something. Was he looking for the paper too?
I don't know what he's doing because I took it as like he knew, right? Like he was just
Oh.
lying to Melody about like owning the house
Oh
and all that
man,
bullshit.
I didn't think about. You're probably right. He was probably just like, "Oh yeah, let's go in there. I'm sure we're not gonna find it." Is probably what he's thinking.
Yeah, and then somehow Melody just picks like a jewelry box and is like,
Hmm.
"Oh, here it is."
Oh, here's the paper. Also, why didn't the old lady, just show him? Why did she care so much about not showing them?
I literally, who knows?
She was very like adamant about not showing them the paper. I thought, but maybe I'm just overthinking it. But anyway, Leatherface like starts slicing up Dante, and we think he's dead, but shocker, he's not dead yet.
Right, and the only reason he like stops, right, is he hears Melody,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it shows her like at the top of the stairs, and that's enough for him to be like, "Oh shit, someone's here," and to stop killing this dude.
Hmm.
But then he goes upstairs
And just starts
and he just,
putting makeup on, right?
yup, yes, he grabs like his mom's dress, which also makes me think that like that's what they were trying to
I
get
think
at.
you're right. I think you're right. He wanted to be his mom, I guess, in a
Yeah, like
way.
some weird obsession with her.
Which I guess he's always been like a mama's boy in the movies, I guess. So
Oh, for sure.
So
Um,
that makes sense. But then he must have just forgot like what he was doing. He must have got distracted.
literally. So he's like, then he hears like all the people outside, and I guess that triggers something because he starts just going fucking wild. Which I'm like,
He's pissed.
th- does he care? Like, why is he just like sensitive to noise? Like, what do
I
you mean?
I'm
Why is he freaking
thinking
out?
he's just still mad about his mother, I guess. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. And then I'm trying to read here. So he starts throwing stuff and he's like having a temper tantrum. And then where does he go? Does he just walk away or do we
Yeah,
know where he goes?
it never shows where he goes. It
But he's
just
just
shows that he
going.
leaves.
Okay. And
Be-
then
be-
which whatever. So then the girl starts she runs downstairs, right?
well, first it starts to rain, and so they're like, "Everybody get in the bus," and Melody's still upstairs, like at the window, like waving her arms,
Oh yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
someone noticed me. Which, like, who is gonna see you doing
Ain't no
this?
one looking. Like no one cares. Although wouldn't you be confused? Like the two stars of this whole event are just not there. No, I guess that sounds right. Actually, they would just not be there. And then she goes downstairs and she thinks Dante's dead, right?
Well, so she hides under the bed because Leatherface comes back.
Oh my god, how many this movie like? Okay, yeah, I do remember that now. Yeah, she goes under the bed.
Yes, and so Leatherface starts just busting open the wall, which again, like, okay, they hid the chainsaw on the wall, like,
Yeah, why not just get rid of the chainsaw?
literally. So
I also was like, why is the chainsaw on the wall?
yes,
I
uh,
guess it's fine.
and it is the original
Yeah, it
chainsaw,
is the same chainsaw that was used from the first movie.
so that's why they kept it in the wall, so that
Which,
they could literally show it.
yeah, just be like, hey, we did something right. We
Yup,
got a chainsaw here.
literally, like, look, it's the
We're
chainsaw,
halfway through the movie and there's a chainsaw shown for the first time. Good times.
and
Good times.
then Dante wakes up and
Yeah.
stumbles outside with his half his mouth just missing.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And then I was curious. It's like, why did he get up? Right? He was like not fine, but he was walking. He was walking towards the bus, and then after like someone like grabs him, like the hit guy grabs him, right? And then he just dies.
Yep, he
Like
sure does.
like why was he able to get up, walk around, and then when someone touches him, he just dies? I don't know. I'm probably looking too into it, but I was like, that doesn't make sense to me. But it's okay. But yeah, so they find him. He's missing half his face, and then they're like, "Whoa, something's going on here." And that's
So of course, then it goes, haha, look, Hick guy does have a gun, and there's a reason he has a gun. See,
yeah, exactly. And
because
then you're
like
kind of like, "Oh, this guy's gonna be the hero. He's gonna do
literally,
something."
and it's all so disjointed because okay, it showed that he has literally like an AR-15 in his fucking garage.
Yeah, like
And
he
instead
could
of
easily carry it around.
instead of him being like, "Oh my god, someone's face got chopped off. Let me go grab my assault rifle." They're like, "All right, now he uses the pistol
Yeah,
from
he's like, let me use
earlier."
my pistol, and then make sure everyone stays in the bus and don't get out of the bus or you'll die. And then it was the lady. I don't know why she was in the movie or who she is, but she was like, "All right, everyone, stay in the bus, but I'm not gonna tell you why."
Dude, and every time she goes and talks to the bus driver, he's asleep. I was like, "What? Why does he keep falling asleep?"
He was sick of this, bro. He's like, "Can we just go?" It was great, a great time. Oh yeah, so the girl is still in the bed, under the bed,
Yup.
and then the hit guy goes in there and he's like, "Yo, I gotta save this girl," and somehow, even though he has a gun, he loses the fight.
Well, like, I don't even know why he goes into the house,
Yeah, he
right? I
really
mean,
didn't need to.
no, the door was open and there's blood, but he doesn't know anyone else like is in there that like someone needs to be saved or
I think
anything
he
like
straight up
that.
was just like, I need to kill this guy.
I guess so. I could see that.
But I mean, yeah, that also doesn't make sense. You would think maybe like wait for the cops, or you know, do anything but try and go in there by yourself. Maybe like take a person with you. I don't know. But he just goes for it, and it doesn't go well.
Right, so they have him come into the bedroom and Melody under the bed is like shifting the mirror so that it can help him see. So I guess this is like some weird scene where they're like they can help each other this time after she made fun of him or some shit. But like he doesn't even know who's under the bed.
It's not
Like
even
he
about that. Like it's yeah, like why I they definitely tried to do that, but it's very clearly like not working.
exactly
And
is like
then yeah, it's just bad. It's a mess. This whole movie's a mess.
this whole movie is a giant fucking mess.
Yeah. And then oh, but when that guy gets his leg broken, that was pretty sick. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
It looked all the kills were pretty good in this movie. So I guess that's cool. But yeah, so she shifts the mirror and then they start like fist fighting, right?
Right, and that's when
Or
he does.
Leatherface does a hammer or something. I don't.
Yup, and breaks his leg, and they
It
still
was so
fight for a
cool.
little bit longer.
Yeah.
And then he slams the dude's like neck right into the glass.
Yeah. It was not. This guy didn't do very well in this fight. Like
No,
I was expecting a
against
little more against a 70-year-old man. Yeah.
right someone who's supposed to be 70. But even that, and like it shows Leatherface's like real human face at the beginning too. So even that, like you can't suspend disbelief about his age because it just shows it. Like it shows
Yeah,
him.
maybe they're going with like the Halloween route. Have you seen Halloween Kills?
I have, yes.
Maybe they're like trying to go down the route of like he's not human. I guess I don't. I like he's some kind of monster. I guess, but
Right, which like you need to be careful because I will
it's
sit and talk about that from Halloween Kills for way too long too,
yeah.
because
I had problems with that movie, but
bec- because yes, you're totally right because it gets fucking out of hand
mm,
in the last
it gets a
30
little
minutes of this
annoying.
movie.
It's like really we're just gonna keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over.
Yup, because he kills the hick dude, and then we get like it cuts away again, and it's Sally like
Yeah,
slowly walking around
I
the
right
sunflower field.
right when that scene happened, I was like, this is going to be the most useless scene of all time because we're not gaining any new information. I will say, the way that girl's body was like placed was kind of cool. I guess was that
Right,
is
yeah,
that at this scene, right?
yes, where it's like the mom's body's like still sat up or whatever without a
Yeah,
face.
that was kind of cool, I guess. But other than that, it was kind of like a useless. Oh, this girl. Like, I truly don't care about Sally. Like, and I guess I'm glad I didn't because of what happens. But I didn't care at all. I didn't want her to be in this movie at all.
There's no need for it.
It was just it blows my mind because if it was the same actress, maybe it would have been a little cooler to like bring her back. But it wasn't even the same person. It was
Yep.
and the character's completely different than what she was in the original. So it's basically just like a girl with the same name who's trying to help. It just doesn't feel
Yeah.
right. It doesn't. It was so stupid. So
It was just another thing that they like forced into the movie, and I guess they thought that it would work. I don't know if they were trying to get like fans for that. Like, oh, Sally's in this one, I'll
I
watch it. Like, there was just no need whatsoever.
maybe that's what it was because I don't know. I felt like most people were gonna probably watch this anyway. It's on Netflix. You don't have to go anywhere to watch it, and it's a new Texas Chainsaw, so like, why not watch it? But
Right.
I guess they're like, all right, let's make this as bad as possible, or copy other movies, or it was just so frustrating.
It really was. And then we have more just like disjointed scenes after that
I
because we
can't
see the
stand
mom
it. Yeah.
like in the field, and then it cuts back to like the sister just wandering around in the rain, being like, "Hey, what's going on?" Everyone else is just partying on this bus, which just makes everything more confusing. Because I'm like, why are they there then? Like now, even like the chefs, both of them have been gone for a while. The like organizer later lady is sitting in the front of the bus. She's not even with all the like random people partying in the
Yeah.
back, and like no one cares like what's going
Yeah,
on.
they were just kind of having a good time, I guess. Maybe they were just completely wasted or something. I don't know. It this movie is stupid. So stupid. But what happens after that? Do we cut back to the girl under the bed?
So we have the sister walking through the rain, and she finds Dante's
Oh, cuz
body, and it's
doesn't she get out of the bus and this
yes,
this scene made me mad. The girl, the director lady or whatever, she didn't even attempt to keep this girl on the bus. She was just tell her what's happening.
like literally say like, "Hey, Dante just got fucking murked outside, bro." Like, yeah, exactly.
She doesn't even attempt to keep this girl on the bus. And which whatever, I guess that's fine. Let her get out. Let her walk in the rain and be all grumpy and look for her sister. But yeah. Oh, and then yeah, she sees Dante, right? She's like, "Oh."
Yeah, and that's it. Like it cuts away from her
It does.
after that.
It does.
Yeah,
And then we go to the
back to
uh
the bed.
yeah, to the bed.
So he goes back to the bed, and this was like again, I guess supposed to be like the redeeming quality of the Hick guy is as he was dying, he
Oh
pulled
yeah.
out the keys that he had stolen earlier in the day.
So stupid. It was so stupid. And
So
then
Melody
yeah, she
grabs
takes
those
him.
keys.
Yeah. She grabs him and it's like, "All right, I guess I'll go now." And then what happens? She gets like, "Oh yeah, this part was sick. I forgot about this part." She's like about to go down the stairs and she's like trying to be all sneaky and quiet. And then does Leatherface just throw his hammer at her and she
Yes, and
flies
she
through the
just goes
stairs
flying down the steps. Yes, dude.
and through the floor at the bottom. How is she okay? From
Literally,
the hammer and going
I,
through a floor, you're not gonna be okay.
but
I
yeah, of course. Now he revs up that OG chainsaw.
I just love the hammer hitting her and she goes so far. Oh yeah. And then she's like under this house. And then he's like, "All right, let me get my chainsaw. You're right."
Yeah, and he's just like sawing through the floorboards as she like crawls around.
Crawls directly where he is sawing. Maybe just move to the side and you'll be fine.
Right?
She just keeps going straight. And that's where he's taking the chainsaw.
And like what he cuts open like this sewer
Yeah,
pipe, so
and
she just
she
gets like covered in shit.
it was kind of like it was pretty funny. It was like I I like why put that in the movie? Just
I know.
cuz I mean it was yeah, but she could have just moved to the side and she would have been fine. But then yeah, she gets covered in like human feces, which is
Literally
always
covered
fun.
in
Yeah,
shit. And like
it's pretty bad.
I like how they don't even like act like she's covered
They
in
don't
it. Like
acknowledge it at all.
yeah, like that could have been funny, but
Like
they
no, they don't say a word about it.
no.
There was
And
zero reason to make it happen.
there's absolutely no humor in this movie at all,
Except for the
which like
cringe. Like the cringe is the only kind of funny stuff.
exact and I do
It's not on
not think
purpose.
any of it was on purpose.
No.
Exactly.
And then she gets out and they start running to the bus, right?
Yeah, and then they make it in the bus. This girl is covered
And no
head to
one
toe
says
in
anything.
human shit, and no one goes, "Bro, you stink."
Yeah. And yeah, the bus driver was sleeping still, and they're like, "All right, can we leave?" And everyone's partying. This girl's covered in literal crap and just standing in the middle of this bus. It's just it doesn't make sense. And then another problem because they start driving. They're like, "Oh wait, maybe they'll drive away." No, they hear a chainsaw hit the bus, and they're like, "Oh!" And the bus driver's like, "Let me go see what that was."
Right after the third time that this bus driver has been asleep at the wheel,
Yeah,
this man.
maybe that's why he gets out. I was very confused on why he was like checking to see what the noise was. Like, again, why didn't the lady just be like, "Yo, there's people dead. Maybe we should leave."
No,
And
seriously.
he's just like, "Nah, let me get out of the bus, and I'm gonna go see what's making that noise." And then he dies. Believe it or
And
not.
like, but like, what does this guy hit the bus with? Because the
I
bus
thought it
like
was the
tips
chainsaw. Does
sideways.
it? Is it not his chainsaw?
It never says.
I just assume because this chainsaw is like the craziest chainsaw to exist. Like, ain't no chainsaw doing that in real
Uh,
life.
no, I
Anything in
don't.
this movie.
I don't know what you can hit on a bus to just make it stop like
Maybe he
that.
just
Like,
ran right into it or something.
I, they didn't know, so
Like
they didn't show it. Like
face first.
literally.
I'm just gonna assume he just ran into the bus, like tried to tackle it. And then Leatherface gets on the bus and is like, "Yo, I'm gonna cut you guys up with this chainsaw." And they're like, "Do you want to get canceled?" And that scene a lot of people are either complaining about or they love it, and I'm just at the point where I'm like, it was fine. They were trying to be funny. I think that's what was they were trying to be funny. Yeah, he's just and then he's like, "I'm gonna start this chainsaw anyways, and you're still gonna die. I don't care if you're Instagram living me." And then
No, like literally, it was another attempt, I guess, at like trying to have like a discussion about
I'm
something being on their phones. I
I'm
I assume
I'm looking
like,
at the comments, the Instagram comments. While this is, I didn't read them before.
oh god, I'm gonna do
Okay,
the same thing. Yeah, I'll try and read them.
we got who hired this guy? Is that what it said? It says how much money you pay this guy. Yeah, I've been more to intense haunted houses before.
4 out of 10.
He
I
blew me
see
off
that
for
one.
this. Yeah. That's kind of funny, I guess. I missed that.
Oh
Wait, what
yeah,
the F is this
Chase
actually real?
Anderson, Texas said, "Where is this? I want to go."
I see that. That looks so fake. No, that's pretty funny. I guess they did have one funny moment. I thought the scene was okay. A lot of people were either hating on it or loving it, and I was kind of in between. The gore was cool.
I am curious how much of this you could actually do. Like if you were running around with a
No,
chainsaw. I
that's
mean,
what I'm
obviously.
saying. Is like, I've seen videos like chainsaws can't do this straight up.
Oh, oh, for sure. And like, but then you're like, how? I guess he's like super strong too, as he's like cutting the dude in half, and
Yeah,
you have it showing the sister, and it's like, oh, she's reliving the school shooting, and
yeah. But like, I just like the chainsaw would stop working at some point, right? This is a 50-year-old chainsaw, right?
yes.
So why is this thing unstoppable? But
Uh,
yeah, it's a massacre, and I'm guessing they spent 90% of the budget on this scene. Is my guess. And sure, it's okay. It's fine.
the sister's name is Lila. She starts screaming it
Oh,
during
okay.
this. So
Okay.
there you go.
But yeah, and then there's just blood everywhere, and everyone's screaming, and then they go to the bathroom, right?
Yep, they're the only two in the bus that thought to
That were
like
like, let's
go to
maybe
the bathroom, I
not just
guess.
stand here and get chainsaw. Oh yeah, the guy who gets the chainsaw through his like groin and then starts like dry humping this girl.
Yep, that was really
Why?
weird.
Why did they do that? What was the point of that? But yeah, that was weird. And then, oh yeah, the girl, the director lady was like, "All right, let me get out of this bus, I guess." And she opens the window. Finally, someone tries to open a window, and then she gets sawed in half. Which I
Yep.
was like, I'm not glad it happened, but like, you could have prevented so many deaths if you just told people what was happening. So, it's fine. She died. It's no big deal. And then like he's chainsawing through this door. I don't know. Maybe a bus door. Maybe you could get through. I guess.
Well, and then I vividly remember this, and I'm not one that normally like really even pays attention. Because I'm not like a movie editor. I just watch movies. I don't do anything with film.
Yeah.
But it shows them in the bathroom, and they look up like at the window that's at the top or whatever.
Yeah.
And the rain that they have edited into that scene is falling through the whole room. Like it's not hitting the window. Like the water, if you watch it, it's just like it's like someone put the effect over everything in the background. Like it was so bad that I was like,
Yeah, I can't believe I didn't know. You're right. I'm not one of those people that notices things like that, but you're totally right. When they look up at the window, it's just coming through the ceiling. Like,
yeah.
okay, well, that's pretty ridiculous. Another thing is she hits Leatherface with like a corkscrew or something, and it's like, is that what they're called? Is that what are they called?
Yeah, like the bottle opener
Yeah,
that they
yeah.
got from like the from the gas station.
Yeah, that was a chainsaw one. And see, this is where like I lose the part where the 70-year-old man, he's either got to be you can't be the in between, and that's what they're doing. He's getting hurt from this thing, but he's also 70 and chainsawing an entire bus of people.
Right,
I feel like
yes, he
that wouldn't hurt.
gets
I mean, I shouldn't say it hurt him, but he was like, "Ow, that kind of hurts, and I'm gonna stop now."
like literally, like I think if you stabbed me with one of those, like yeah, like I'd probably start crying. Okay, but this man gets shot with a shotgun
Yeah, what
later
the
in the movie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that saves them enough time to get out of the bus through the window. And
Right,
then
and
Leatherface is like, "Oh man."
so and then they just get into Sally's car, and it turns out Sally is an even bigger fucking psychopath
Bro,
than I thought they were going to do because
which
she's like she just stares at them in the mirror and it is like, he's here for you guys. You have to be locked in the car, and
yeah,
just leaves them.
yeah. So they went down the path of trying to make her kind of like Laurie Strode, like obviously because this is ripped off of Halloween 2018, and they try and make her a little cuckoo because Laurie is a little cuckoo in that movie. But they, but she's really nuts.
Literally, she's sitting there at the wheel and she's like, 50 years I've been waiting for this night. Like, oh, really?
Which, okay, sure, maybe you have been waiting, but why sacrifice or stop these girls from living? Or she attempts to. It seems like she's like, yeah, y'all are stuck in the back, and I'm not like I'm gonna go fight this guy, and they're like, what? Excuse me?
Yeah, but she puts on her cowboy hat, right? Like, she has to get ready.
Oh my god, this is the southern version of Halloween 2018, but so much worse.
So much worse, man.
What? And then yeah, so she goes out to fight him finally after talking for like 5 minutes. She's like, "All right, I'm gonna take my shotgun and I'm gonna kill this guy because he killed like my friends." And that was 50 years ago, and she's not over it. She's like, I need to get him." And what a horrible job she does because she goes upstairs and Leatherface is just chilling, by the way, taking a break, just sitting there, and she's just trying to have a conversation with him.
Yep. Again, like, it's like even she is trying to, like, tell the audience, like, hey, let's get this guy involved in some bullshit.
I just don't like why not just shoot him?
Literally, like, and he doesn't even go to kill her. He walks away from her.
He doesn't even
And then
care.
you're like, oh, so all of a sudden he doesn't care about this
Yeah.
woman screaming in his face,
After
but
he
he'll
just killed the bus full
a
of people.
bus load of people.
Because you could say the excuse like, okay, he only cares about those two girls, I guess. But then what was the point of killing the bus full of people? It doesn't make sense, and I don't think it ever will. But yeah, she's like, remember all my friends you killed? And he's like, not really.
Right, and then he comes sprinting out of that alley, dude.
That scene was hilarious.
And he's like blocking the shotgun pellets like a
She
lightsaber or
missed.
some
She
bullshit.
just straight up missed. Like, it didn't make any sense to me how she missed that. Yeah, he tried to block him, and he apparently did, or she missed, or it was a combination of both, I guess.
I think it was both. She missed the first one, and then the second one
He
like
bombed.
reflects off the
Which
chainsaw.
again, would the chainsaw work after getting shot by a shotgun?
Right? Like no, dude. God. And
Or
then
would the chainsaw even block it? Like, would that?
no way in hell
There's
would it
no
just
way.
deflect.
Yeah, so she also when he goes down the alley and then she's like looks down it and he's just gone. Like it was maybe 2 seconds that he had to run, but this guy's gone. And then you can hear him like revving his chainsaw somewhere else in this little town. It reminds me of like this town reminds me of like never been to like Universal or like but like you know how they do like the Universal horror nights or whatever?
Yes, I
It
went
just
all 4 years when I lived in
really?
Florida.
Bro,
Yeah,
I want to go so bad. But that's what this
it's
reminds me of.
incredible.
It just like looks like a movie set and that's kind of what that is. But
Well, like, and then she's like having the confrontation with Leatherface, right? Like after he's like blocking the shotgun and stuff.
yeah.
And we just witnessed 5 minutes earlier this man gets stabbed by something a little bit bigger than a pin needle in the arm, and he goes, "Oh, ouch!" and he pulls away.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, that hurt."
But then during this scene, she stabs him in the side with her big ass knife,
Like
and
hunting knife.
yeah, and he just doesn't move
And
and
just
uses
throws
one
a-
hand to chainsaw her through the stomach.
Another
and
thing is
throws
she's
her.
like up in the air and he's like and she's like dying. How is she not dead yet? She
Dude,
comes back to life in like 10 minutes.
And like talks.
Talks and shoots a gun. Dude, and then like they start driving at him to hit him and he just throws the chainsaw at their
Okay,
car.
whips the chainsaw.
That was kind
and
of
then
cool, I guess.
yup, and then he gets clipped by the car a little bit.
Yeah, and then yeah, Sally's still fucking alive somehow. I don't understand that. Like if you see like I just can't like the chainsaw went through her. He was holding her in the air with the chainsaw while it was like cutting through her. Like just imagine that in your body. Like that is gonna hit some organs, I would assume.
Dude, yeah.
That made me the most mad.
You have to turn your brain off so much for this movie.
Yeah, which I can handle in a lot of horror movies because you can't watch like horror movies without like being okay.
Sometimes you're like you'll roll your eyes, but
this one is horrible. It doesn't stop with the eye rolling. But yeah, then they crash their car and then Melody's like stuck, I guess. I don't know how exactly
she has like a metal rod like through her leg or some bullshit.
Yeah, like of course, bro. Of course that's gonna happen. And then she's like, just leave. And I was like, yeah, because that's gonna work out. If the sister just runs away. I'm sure that'll work out great. Because yeah, where are you gonna go?
But then like one of the few smart things that actually happens in this whole entire movie is Lila goes and grabs the fucking assault rifle.
Yes, that's why she's the only like character I'm like, okay, I can deal with you. Yeah. She goes, gets the gun, and it's like, all right.
And then, of course, she tries shooting, and the safety is on.
Yeah, because that happened in the first. Was it not the first Scream? One of the Screams. Gail tries to shoot the killer, right? And the safety's on. That's what that reminded me of.
Yes.
But anyway, that happens, and then she just runs away. It was with the gun in her hand. And then he's chasing her with the chainsaw. And he's like running around, this 7-year-old man. And then she turns around and he just hits the gun.
Yep.
And then misses. And then he's like, oh, how'd I miss? And then he gets, what happens? Oh, shot by the girl who just got chainsawed through the stomach.
Sally shoots him with the shotgun.
And then dies. She can finally die, right? Or does she not die yet?
No, she dies. She sets the shotgun down and dies. And so Lila starts to, like, hunt for Leatherface.
I wonder how many people actually cared that she died.
No one.
Not a single soul. And the Sally was like, don't run. You gotta kill him. And I was like, this is another thing that I was like, why are you telling them not to run? Because Sally was like, he'll hunt you. And I was like, you were hunting him the whole time. He didn't
Literally.
give a shit about you.
Like for 40 years, I guess he was just chilling. He was like, no, or 50 years. He was like, no, I'm good.
So why are you telling this girl not to run? I think she was just like, yo, you need to kill him because like I want him dead. Kind of like using her. But either way, yeah, I thought that was stupid.
Right, and so then she goes into like the abandoned like movie theater or whatever, and he sets a trap, which I was like, oh, I guess like he's smart enough to do that. That's
Wait,
cool.
I just realized she said he'll never stop haunting you, not hunting. So that
Okay,
is on me. That's on me. But
that
still,
that's a little bit better.
but still. But yes, they go in the theater.
Right, and he tackles her into this fucking big ass deep puddle,
Like what
and
is
somehow
this
she
puddle?
escapes.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Like, and again, like you can tell that even like the director and the writers are like, we don't know how she escapes, so we're not going to show that. Just
But
show
she
her
did,
climbing out of
yeah,
the water,
yeah.
because what the fuck?
And then like shocker, he's obviously is right behind her, and then she's going for the gun, but he gets
Right,
out
but like,
first.
but also, yeah, like she's crawling out of the water for like
A
not five,
while.
6 seconds. What's he doing? He's just like diving down there, and then he finally like shoots out of the water.
I love that. Yeah, and then for some reason she just continues to crawl. Maybe she was too hurt to get up and stand up to get the gun. I guess, like you said, we don't know what went down in the water, but so she finally or no, he kicks the gun away, and then she's like, "Oh, it's over." She has her
Yup.
flashbacks,
And then,
and
well, he like starts the chainsaw again, and he fucking
oh
throws
my
it
god,
at her.
when he threw that, that was so funny. It was so funny.
So yep, it clips her leg, and then she starts having like, dude, the worst
I
slow
missed that
motion.
part.
Like,
Yeah, it's pretty
God,
bad.
because it's like the slow mo that they did in the movies in like the late '90s, man, where they're like, what if we drop the frames down to like 5 frames a second, and like, God, it is hard to watch.
It's like they're like, dang, we need a few extra seconds on this movie. Let's just make this part slow mo.
Yep, literally.
And then her sister somehow gets out of the car and jumps on Leatherface, and they fight for like a while she's just on his back doing something. I don't even know what's happening.
Right.
And then he chucks her into some padding. I am assuming it looks like. Yep, right into some trash bags.
Yes, and then he gets shot with a shotgun for a second time.
Yep.
Only in the hand though, so it's not as bad, of course.
Which is like,
And then
really, you're gonna
he
hit
gets
someone
shot. Right, and then he gets shot a
again.
third time with the shotgun
Yep.
right in the chest.
And then she's out of ammo.
And so then the sister grabs the fucking chainsaw, fucking uppercuts him with a chainsaw.
Why would you not just shove it through his neck? Like, it was pretty obvious. Like, obviously he's not gonna die in this movie, but that's not gonna kill him. I feel like it
Literally.
clipped his face. Like, you kind of clipped his face, and then he falls back in the water.
Yep. And I guess for whatever reason, Lila's like, I gotta take the hat and the picture from fucking Sally. Like, I have to reminisce about this wonderful fucking afternoon that I had. And then the worst scene in the entire
They should have
movie
ended it there. If they would have
happens.
ended it there, the movie would have been significantly better, in my opinion.
It would have been like a 5 out of 10 instead of 4.
Yeah.
But because of the way this movie ends, I don't think I will ever forget it. Like, I will give it that. When they just
stupid.
fucking click the autopilot for this car, and she gets yanked out, and Lila just watches as the car automatically drives away.
It's so stupid. I legit thought it was a dream sequence when I watched it.
Me
And I was like,
too.
oh, that was stupid. Then I was like, oh, that was a real scene in this movie. Like,
Literally.
it just doesn't add up. And I didn't care that she died because truly this movie doesn't like matter to me. I had no feelings for any of these characters in this movie. But
No, they literally only did that ending so that they could have some version of the original ending, right? Because he like hits the back of the car and he starts like swinging his chainsaw around and freaking
yeah.
out. And they're like, "Let's do the same exact ending, but like he gets the sister."
So did he not care about this other girl, or was he just like just wanted that one girl? He very clearly wanted both of them, but then he's like now he's like dancing, doing his chainsaw thing with that girl's head. And then
Yep.
did you see the end credit scene?
Um, I
I
didn't.
didn't know there was one. I saw it on Twitter literally like 2 days ago, and I was like, oh.
Oh my! Of course there
So
is.
yeah, I
Okay.
would check it out. It's nothing crazy, but it's like, oh God, we're doing another one of these.
No. Oh no. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, of course. See, the movie was so bad I turned it off as
No, I
soon
did
as the
too. As
credits hit,
soon as the credits
dude.
hits, I was like, all right, that was a piece of shit. I need to
Okay.
go to my notes and look at my last. All right. So I just want to see what I was.
So okay, yeah, it was just him walking to a farmhouse. Incredible,
It was pretty stupid.
dude. And of course there will be another one. Like even if it's not a direct sequel to this movie, I mean they'll make another Leatherface movie one way or
Oh,
another.
at one point, I don't know why they didn't like why would they do this? Why we did not need a sequel to the original for this. I think what they should have done is I know we've seen the original like remade or whatever, but we could have just got like a brand new story with him. And this I mean I guess this was that, but in like the worst way they could have done it. The worst way.
No, absolutely.
I have some good tweets that I found about this movie. I just decided I think I want to read out. So this first one, out of context horror deaths on Twitter. I don't know if you follow them, but Texas Chainsaw Massacre was a fucking terrible movie, but is also a schlocky. Is that what this says? A schlocky slasher film, and I love the hell out of it. The kills are phenomenal as well. And I was like, okay, it was horrible, but the kills were good. That's true. I agree with that. This is pretty good as well. The 2022 version of Texas Chainsaw Massacre might be without a doubt the biggest piece of dog shit I've ever watched. And I was like, I felt that. I felt that.
True.
And here's another good one. Bus scene was terrible. Not one person kicked down an emergency exit or broke a window, or when they all pull out their phones.
God, when they all pull out their phones, dude.
Yeah, it was but that's the movie. That was Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022. Maybe there was some good goofs on IMDb that we can. Everyone's just making fun of Leatherface's chainsaw can still work after being blasted by a shotgun
Twice.
twice.
Like, oh my god, dude.
It was pretty bad.
I was expecting a bad movie, and
Yeah,
it was so much worse
yeah, it
than
was so much
I thought
worse.
it was gonna be.
Yeah, I do you know anything else this director has done? Like I don't know who he is.
So I looked it up, and it's pretty much like his first time directing. He had like two other things on IMDb that like I
Okay.
were
Well,
like very small.
that's unfortunate. I can't believe this movie exists. It's just who freaking wrote this garbage? Someone who hasn't wrote very much, I'm assuming. Yep, he hasn't wrote anything else. It looks like. Well, I like you said, I knew it was gonna be bad. It was bad. I'm not surprised.
Definitely one of those things where I'm like just disappointed. Yeah, I'm like, god damn it, man.
Well, I mean, like we're getting all these new Halloweens. The new Scream was fantastic. I don't know. I haven't heard your thoughts on it, I guess, but I loved it.
I loved the new Scream as well.
It was so good. I've seen it a few times now, and it's coming out in digital very soon. So definitely gonna get that. But yeah, so we got all these new like movies for old franchises, and this one just kind of was like, oh yeah, that seems about right.
Well, like, man, I feel like for you to do it well and to have it like well received by everyone is you somehow find a way to get like a group of people inside some sketchy ass fucking house and like just have the whole movie take place in the house, man. Like,
Yeah, this movie didn't feel like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie at all.
no,
And
I
it's like
agree.
this movie's been remade and like sequels. There's so many times. Like it just didn't need another one. Or if they did do another one, do it how you said and just like put him in a house. Like it doesn't have to be a good plot. You could have just done like anything.
Yeah, like I'm fine not knowing, like not remembering any of the characters' names and like not really caring why they're really there.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah, yeah,
but man, if there's one thing you should probably do right, it's Leatherface himself, and I feel like even that was just done so piss poor.
yeah. It just doesn't make sense. Like, are we really gonna have a new series now of the 70-year-old Leatherface who can't die apparently? Which I say that, but Michael Myers is also 70 and can't die. But it's fine. It's no big deal.
Literally, it's just like they don't know what to do with these killers, so they're like, well, let's just make them immortal.
Yeah, it's just I wish they wouldn't. I wish they cuz it wouldn't be that hard to like make him not get as hurt as he did, but they like purposely made him like take bullet after bullet and a chainsaw to the face. But it didn't matter. He's alive. Doing well.
Yeah, like he wasn't struggling. He chainsawed that girl's head off with one hand still. Like,
Yeah, yeah. It was so dumb. Do you have any more thoughts on this movie?
I do not. I e- even though it is one of the shortest movies that I have seen in a very long time,
Yeah.
it still was not worth my time.
So you don't recommend it, is what you're saying.
No.
I see. I watch every new horror like even if I know it's gonna be bad, but if it's like an old killer, an icon, I'll watch it. So I guess if you're like that, then watch the movie. But if you just want to watch a good horror movie, put on like Insidious or something.
Yeah.
Literally anything else on Netflix. But yeah, that's all I got for this one. Hopefully, we'll watch a better movie next time. I'm hoping that we can do this like either weekly or bi-weekly. But
I- I'm definitely down to do weekly.
yeah.
Uh, Normally I can also like pick a time better, but my grandma is here right now, so we have a full
Oh,
house, and then my car is also broken down, so
it's just
yeah,
one of those weeks.
it literally is like the most chaotic week I've had in months.
I love that. And you got to watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre during it, just to make it so much better.
It literally. I did. I went and saw Jackass
Yeah,
4 yesterday
I
though,
want to
and that
see that.
was, dude. It was really good. There's a lot more penis in it than I was expecting, and like that says something
I
because
love
I was
that.
expecting a lot, but I
Yeah.
was like, wow.
I'll have to check it out. All right, well that's the end of this recording, and we'll hopefully have another one uploaded next week. So thank you for listening. If you made it this far, goodbye.